Continuing from the previous episode 219. Since the fire of the root of Longyi, the spirit of the ruler of the eternal fire, was swallowed up by Xiaoyan, Longyi also knew that if he wanted to see the sun again in the future, then he had to rely on Xiaoyan. After all, he is now all betting on Xiaoyan. The power of the source was swallowed up, and the dragon's soul lost the chance to escape, so he could only stay within the ancient ruler of the different fire. That's right. I have lived in this corpse forest for thousands of years, but I am familiar with it. There is one of the biggest treasures in the corpse forest, and it exists on the 3rd floor of the corpse forest, and I can guarantee that this treasure cannot even be touched by the overlord of the corpse forest, Yinyu Sirius. Longyi also said proudly. Don't betray you, where is it? Xiaoyan also said inexplicably. Follow me. After Longyi finished speaking, an extremely small force also overflowed along the ancient ruler of the eternal fire, and then went to a place. Go this way. Xiaoyan also followed quickly and said to the two behind him. Let's go away first, it's not good to attract others' attention here. Yukon and Hongyi's voices came from the well in the same way, and they obviously heard the quarrel outside. Yes! A group of people outside the well also disappeared without a trace, leaving only Muller alone. Damn soul race, what the asterisk are you doing? Muller said in a mood. Apparently even he didn't know why he came to the 3rd floor of this terrifying infernal forest. The thinking was fruitless, and Muller's figure was also hidden. Before we knew it, a day had passed, but Xiaoyan and the others also noticed that the ghost energy around them had clearly grown stronger. We have entered the core area of the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, everyone be careful. Xiaoyan also looked around vigilantly and said, Yueru? Mu Feng? After patrolling around, Xiaoyan also looked behind him and found that the two had disappeared. Hey, don't worry, these are just some protection techniques on the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, they're just some tricks. It will disperse in a while. And Yueru and Mu Feng are also in it, but there is no danger. They will recover after passing through here. Long Yi, who was on the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng, also noticed Xiaoyan's change, and then went out. Sound. There are 2 huge breaths on the 3rd floor of this corpse forest. The Golden Dragon King muttered in Xiaoyan's body, but it was fleeting, and it was quiet again, apparently slowly refining the secret realm. Dragon Qi, thereby restoring some of his strength. Long Yi, why did we go to the east? Xiaoyan also found that the infernal corpse forest was only on the east and west sides, which was quite strange. The treasure I'm talking about exists in the easternmost part. As for the west part, it is the overlord of the infernal corpse forest, where the Silver Moon Heavenly Wolf is located. This is still the dividing line between the things on the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest. I hope I won't meet him, Long Yi said weakly. Hearing this, Xiaoyan stopped at a small hole around him. After all, the ghost energy around him was weak and there was almost no trace of ghosts. According to Long Yi, the passage here contains passages, which used to be the place where the Yinyu Sirius lived, but now the Yinyu Sirius has already occupied the west, so this cave is also abandoned. Compared with other places full of ghosts, this place is extraordinarily strange. Xiaoyan walked in slowly, while carefully observing the place. This is a small cave, only a few feet, and there is nothing in it, but the strange thing is that this cave is actually bright, which is very strange. Xiaoyan probed carefully for a long time, but he didn't understand why there was light here. It was clearly the bottom of the cave, so it should be impossible for moonlight to appear. Suddenly Xiaoyan's body turned around, and the breath all over his body also increased to the limit, and then he snorted coldly. Who is it? Come out. At the same time, I saw the milky white flame on Xiaoyan's body flourishing, and a terrifying flame instantly illuminated the entire cave. At the same time, Xiaoyan was also holding the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng tightly in his hand, because he felt an extremely terrifying force from the moment he entered the cave. On the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng, Long Yi also looked around vigilantly, and then a huge force on the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng was slowly rotating, a layer of crimson light, from the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng. The top fell off, and Xiaoyan was firmly protected inside. If you look closely, there is no one. But a voice came from the void in the cave. A rare young man, you have quite a few secrets in your body, but I didn't expect you to dare to come here. It's very rare. Do you know where this place is? When Xiaoyan heard the words, he was also shocked. This voice contained extremely terrifying power, and then the huge soul power dispersed in an instant, constantly changing positions and exploring everything around him. Xiao Yan also said, "Who are you? Why don't you show up? You can be sneaky and have the demeanor of a strong man. And where is this place? Isn't this the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest? Why can't I come?" In the void, there was a sudden laugh in the voice. "Young man, I don't have any malicious intentions. I'm just bored and lonely here. I want to find someone to chat with. Would you like to chat with me? As for this place, it is the 2 most mysterious places in the corpse forest. This infernal corpse forest is divided into 3 floors. Most people don't know the entrance to the 3rd floor, so they can't enter. As for the cave where you are now, there are extremely tyrannical restrictions and isolation. People who don't know it can't find that restriction, and they can't get in at all. So you can come in. I'm a little link to weird www.novelmtl.com if you're willing to chat with me. I'll show up to see you. If you don't, just leave. It's just so many years. It's really lonely." At this time, Xiao Yan's soul force had already captured the position of the voice, but this result surprised Xiao Yan. Because what he found out was that the sound was not in this space, but in another space, and his voice was just transmitted in a special way. The strength of this person is very rare. This is something Xiao Yan has never encountered before. Xiao Yan also said softly, "Since you are lonely, please come out. I also have a lot of things that I don't understand, and I want to ask you for advice. As long as you are not malicious, I will not take the initiative to attack others." The voice laughed and said, "All right, it's rare that after so many years, there will be human beings here. It can be considered a fate. I will see you. I hope nothing unpleasant will happen between us, and I hope my appearance won't scare you." As soon as these words came out, Xiao Yan was about to speak when he suddenly felt the aura around the cave suddenly fluctuate. A flashing crack appeared out of nowhere in the cave, and a figure shining with silver light came out of the crack in an instant, quietly appeared a few feet away from Xiao Yan, and looked at Xiao Yan with a smile. Xiao Yan was startled. Such an instant transfer, appearing here out of thin air from another dimension, without profound strength, it is absolutely impossible. Who is this person and why he has such profound strength is really mysterious. This breath, could it be him? The ruler Ling Longye, the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng, was also staring at the man in front of him. Ask for a ticket. Set a small goal first, such as 1 second to remember. Shukju mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 220. In the cave that was divided from east to west on the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, with a burst of space squirming, a mysterious person suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Yan's eyes. In the space, people who appear at random, even if they are as powerful as Kai Ling Longye, have never seen them, so Xiao Yan's heart is full of curiosity about this person at this time. Xiao Yan looked at the man in front of him carefully, and saw that he was about the same age as himself. After all, his cultivation base had reached a certain level of strength, and age and appearance were not so important. However, this figure is slender and looks very handsome. She was wearing a silver long gown with silver light shining from time to time, very beautiful. This man had a smile on his face, giving people a very cordial feeling. There was a strange brilliance in his eyes, which made Xiao Yan feel an indescribable mystery. The silver figure in front of him was also looking at Xiao Yan, but there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. This is the kid who has entered the secret realm, and there are indeed some secrets on him. Xiao Yan was also the first to break the deadlock and said, "Who is your excellency? You don't need to know who I am, you just need to know that I'm not your enemy." The silver figure smiled lightly. Through the perception of huge soul power, Xiao Yan knew that the strength of the silver figure in front of him was extremely terrifying. According to Xiao Yan's guess, Wu Zhang was not as good as the silver figure in front of him. Moreover, Xiao Yan also discovered that even the soul power of the Emperor Realm mortal level can only detect a general situation in this cave, which is very surprising to Xiao Yan. In the end, the silver figure in front of him could come here from another dimension so easily. This is very rare, and Xiao Yan is also extremely curious about this. The silver figure in front of him also seemed to have guessed some of Xiao Yan's questions, and then someone laughed. "You can just call me Xiao Yue. What's your name? I think that although you are young, your strength has reached the level of the early stage of the 4-star Do Di, and it is also extremely tyrannical. And you have the same thing that surprised me. According to my observation, there are several different flames implicit in your body, which is a very strange thing. A kind of flame is extremely violent and powerful, not to mention the fusion of so many flames. Ordinary people can't have so many flame powers at the same time, especially flames whose properties are mutually exclusive. But you have several flames in one body, which may be the difference between you and ordinary people. The silver figure is also not in a hurry. Said, obviously the secrets of Xiao Yan have also seen some clues. As for Kai Ling and the Golden Dragon King, it is difficult for even the strong fighting immortals to detect, so Xiao Yan is not worried. And the most important thing is that Xiao Yan didn't feel murderous aura from this silver figure, so he started talking with him slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was also shocked. He didn't expect that he could see at a glance the secrets that he was carrying several kinds of flames. Xiao Yan said softly, "My name is Yan Xiao. I came here by accident. Why is your excellency here? Looking at you, it seems that there is a hint of evil aura hidden in your body. This is obviously not the ghostly aura in the corpse forest. What's going on?" When Xiao Yue heard the words, her eyes flashed, and she looked straight at Xiao Yan. Then Xiao Yue smiled and said, "Your eyes are very sharp, you can even notice it, but if I tell you, I've been here for a long time, and naturally I have a little ghost, do you believe it? Or, do you believe me when I say I'm a ghost? Actually, no matter who I am, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that there is no misunderstanding between us now. Just like now, everyone is happy together. Why should you care about my identity? Just like I don't ask you, why do you have several flames in your body? Do you think so?" Xiao Yan thought about it for a while, then smiled and said, "That's right, meeting is fate. You come to see me from another dimension, it can be considered a fate. No matter what happens between us in the future, at least now we can live in peace and be a pair of unfamiliar but familiar friends." Xiao Yu's face was overjoyed and she said with a smile, "After so many years, I have finally found someone who can talk. It's really hard to wait." Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Coem, now I'll take you to another place to sit for a meeting. Let's have a good chat. You remember to follow me closely, don't lose it. Be careful, let's go. After Xiao Yue finished speaking, her hands moved to the left and right, the space in the cave was squirming, and suddenly a door of space appeared again. I saw Xiao Yu's slender body turned into a silver light, like moonlight, and shot into the door in an instant. However, Xiao Yan turned into a milky white light, and disappeared in a blink of an eye. With a flash of brilliance, that door of space disappeared in an instant. When Xiao Yan appeared again, he was already in a very bright and dry cave. Taking a closer look around, Xiao Yan knew that this was where Xiao Yue lived, but he didn't know why he lived here. Xiao Yan couldn't guess at this point for a while. Xiao Yue smiled and said, "Sit down, are you guessing? Why do I live in such a place? In fact, there is nothing, as long as you check carefully, you will find that this cave is different from other places in the infernal corpse forest. This place is full of fighting qi suitable for you humans to absorb and cultivate, and it is the place where Emperor Qi gathers in the entire Yin corpse forest. If you are interested, you can try to see if you can absorb some Emperor Qi to enhance your cultivation." Xiao Yan hesitated for a while, looking at Xiao Yue, a strange thought occurred in his heart. In Xiao Yan's heart, the feeling of Xiao Yue is very strange. He understands that his soul power will never go wrong. The news he found from Xiao Yue is that Xiao Yue has a powerful aura. It's just that this breath is not a ghost breath. Although I don't know what kind of breath it is, this breath has slowly transformed into another kind of breath. Even linked to www.novelmtl.com. Based on Xiao Yan's excellent soul perception, it can still be judged that his strength is definitely not weak. Maybe as he said, he is not necessarily a ghost. If he is a ghost, would you like to be with him? At this moment, Xiao Yan's thoughts were racing in his heart, and suddenly, he remembered what his master, the Golden Dragon King, said. I remember that my master Jinlong King once said that in this world, the so-called demons and ghosts are not all bad, just like people have good and evil. If that's the case, why should he care too much? As long as he doesn't have any malice towards him, that's enough. Thinking of this, Xiao Yan smiled. In another place, Mu Yingying also stared at a well and said, Big Tiger, is this the place you're talking about? Yes, it's just that the creatures here are very powerful. I think we should not go down. otherwise I'm afraid. Before the humanoid Tianwo Shengu's words were finished, Mu Yingying rolled up her sleeves, and then it turned into a ray of light and entered the well. My little ancestor. After Tianwo's sacred tiger finished speaking, he followed, for fear that something might happen to this little ant. Hey, the ghost energy on the third floor of the corpse forest is really serious. It seems that the finals should be here. The top 10 powerhouses are also gathering here one after another, the battle of the powerhouses. But why is the ghost energy on the third floor so weird? I can't tell you the specifics. Luo Guang also appeared on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest and said to himself, "Ask for tickets." End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 221. I don't know why, the Emperor's energy in this cave is quite strong. At this time, there are only Xiao Yan and the silver figure Xiao Yue in the quiet cave. The reason why Xiao Yan followed Xiao Yue through the space was because of a message from Long Yi on the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind him, so Xiao Yan also followed with peace of mind. Looking at the cave a little, he found that the Emperor Qi in the cave was very strong, and that Ghost Qi was also isolated by some mysterious power. Xiao Yan smiled and said, "You are right, although I noticed something abnormal in you, but since we're here, we're friends." After speaking, I also felt that Xiao Yue had not changed, and then started the burning Ju, ready to give it a try and absorb the Emperor Qi here. The next moment, the milky white flame light on Xiao Yan's body slowly surrounded his body, and Fen Ju suddenly displayed without warning. In an instant, countless flames of air flashing with various lights appeared in the cave, colorful and very splendid. At this time, the Emperor Qi in the cave instantly moved towards Xiao Yan's body, revolved around him rapidly, and was inhaled into his body the next moment. Xiao Yan is like a bottomless pit. The huge and rich Emperor Qi in the cave continuously flows towards Xiao Yan's body. Xiao Yan is also slowly absorbing these breaths, and his body has an indescribable comfort. Seeing this, Xiao Yu's face changed slightly, and there was a trace of contemplation in her eyes. He seemed to be thinking about what kind of practice Xiao Yan was using at this time, and why he had never seen it or heard of it. Seeing Xiao Yan constantly absorbing those Emperor Qi, Xiao Yue didn't care at all. She said with a smile, "Slowly absorb it, wait until you have finished absorbing it. These hours will protect the law for you." When Xiao Yan heard this, he felt relieved and absorbed the Emperor's Qi in the cave, because what Long Yi said before was that the person in front of him was probably the most powerful being in the entire infernal core. Silver Moon Sirius. It was rumored that the Yinyu Sirius was extremely friendly, and the Yin Corpse Forest became stable under his management. Legend has it that Yinyu Sirius in the Yin Corpse Forest lives on the third floor, and it is very difficult to find him, but every time someone encounters Yinyu Sirius, they can get a lot of benefits. Got it. Several kinds of brilliance flames flickered on Xiao Yan's body, and he liked the gentle Emperor's aura here very much. Because Xiao Yan was at the bottom of the volcano when he conquered the Dragon Soul in the secret realm before, and absorbed a lot of flame power, the flame in his body was also quite excited. At this time, seeing this extremely gentle Emperor Qi, he naturally likes it very much. The neutralization of the two can also help Xiao Yan to continuously expand the sea of Emperor Qi in his body. Therefore, under the operation of Fen Ju, his body can't help but frantically absorb it. Time passed minute by minute. Xiao Yan was slowly absorbing the Emperor Qi in the cave until the Emperor Qi in the cave became thinner, and then he slowly quit the cultivation state. After a while, Xiao Yan smiled and said, "The Emperor Qi here is very helpful to me." According to Xiao Yan's guess, he just broke through the 4-star Do Emperor not long ago, and now you have absorbed such a huge amount of gentle power, so his strength should be stabilized at the level of the initial 4-star Do Emperor. Your Excellency has always been here. No wonder your cultivation is so deep. Xiao Yan also laughed. I have lived here for thousands of years, and I have already seen the matter of cultivation. Birth, old age, sickness and death, human nature, the way of cultivation, and longevity is just a moment. Xiao Yue also muttered to herself. You said that this is the entire infernal corpse forest, the place where the Emperor's Qi is the strongest. I don't know what this place is. Xiao Yan asked. Xiao Yue smiled slightly and said, You don't have to worry about this. I will tell you later. Let's talk about something else now. Are you finally going to show your true face? Xiao Yan also smiled secretly. From what Long Yi said before, Xiao Yan knew that Xiao Yue should be asking for something from him, so he treated himself like this, otherwise he would treat him like this. If you have the strength, you will definitely not be able to last 3 rounds. What's the matter with your excellency? It's better to say it. If I can help, I will be happy to help. I want to ask you, you should be an alchemist with a high rank, right? Xiao Yu also looked at Xiao Yan with a smile. Xiao Yan was slightly taken aback and said, I don't know, your excellency. Xiao Yan was also guarding Xiao Yue at this time. After all, the soul of a high-level alchemist is extremely powerful and delicious. Maybe some people are good at this. He, don't worry, of course I have no other intentions. I only asked this because I asked you for it. After all, few people dare to enter the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, let alone a powerful alchemist like you. Xiao Yue said, I can barely make medicine pills. As for other things, even if I want to help, I can't help. Xiao Yan also laughed. Obviously, other than making medicine pills, Xiao Yan really didn't need to do anything else. The strength of this person is extremely terrifying. But this matter has to wait for my competition to end. There are still more than 10 days. Xiao Yan also suddenly remembered. This is no problem, and it's not too short of time. Xiao Yue said, if that's the case, let's talk about the reward. Xiao Yan also laughed. Obviously, although the strength is only in the early stage of the 4-star Do Di, compared with the Xiao Yue in front of him, it seems like a big witch, but don't forget that Xiao Yan is an emperor. A pharmacist of the 1st rank, the appeal of a pharmacist is. He is really a careful little guy. Isn't the previous Emperor Qi not enough? Xiao Yu said, since your excellency has turned to me for help, then the medicinal pills that I have refined must be of high rank. I should receive a little reward, but the Emperor Qi just now is not enough. Xiao Yan is also a high-level artist. Big Wei. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Xiao Yue smiled, but the smile was full of danger. I believe that my refining skills will make me worthy of this reward. Xiao Yan also laughed. His aura was not weak at all. What a daring little guy. There is also a reward. It depends on whether you have the courage to take it. Xiao Yue said with a smile. Oh, what did your excellency mean? Xiao Yan was also surprised. If someone as powerful as Xiaoshen could say this, then it is very likely to be a great treasure. The treasure I'm talking about is the treasure in the entire infernal corpse forest, and it's on the 3rd floor. It's just that there is a person next to this treasure whose strength is comparable to mine. Xiao Yue said. Hearing that, Xiao Yan's pupils also shrank tightly. Although the treasure is loved by everyone, if there is a person next to the treasure with the same strength as Xiao Yue, you have to look again, because the strength of Xiao Yue is very small. Yan can't see it through. According to Xiao Yan's guess, this Xiao Yue is at least at the level of 6-star fighting Qi. If you want to take something from the wallet of a 6-star fighting emperor, it is more difficult than going to the sky. The current Xiao Yan is only the strength of the 4-star Do Di in the early stage, and Xiao Yan is also self-aware. Don't joke, your excellency, how would I dare to fetch this treasure? Xiao Yan also wondered. There must be a way, it depends on whether you want this treasure or not. Xiao Yue also smiled slowly, and there was some strong confidence in her voice. Set a small goal first, such as 1 second to remember. Shukju mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 222. That's. Xiao Yan also muttered. There was some fiery in his brown eyes. Since Xiao Yue said so, there must be a way. There is a way, it depends on your ability and courage. Xiao Yue also laughed. I haven't tried it yet. Xiao Yan also laughed, with a strong confidence in his voice. After 10 days, it will be the yin moon of the infernal corpse forest, and the ghostly aura of the infernal corpse forest will also become stronger. I will take action against that person on that day, so that's your chance. Don't stop. I have to remind you in advance that there are inevitably some things like you around the treasure. If you can't get them, don't blame me. Xiao Yue also stared at Xiao Yan after saying that. 10 days later, Xiao Yan muttered to himself, there are still 14 days before the points plundering competition, 10 days is also possible, and he immediately nodded to Xiao Yue. Then it's a deal. As for the refining of medicinal pills, I will find you when the game is over. Xiao Yue also laughed. Then wish us a happy cooperation. Xiao Yan also smiled. Obviously this kind of fair cooperation also made Xiaoyan's eyes shine. Xiaoyue showed a hint of approval in her eyes, and said loudly, "Okay, don't back down in the face of a powerful enemy. You are considered a kid with ambition, but since you are going to this, you must have the faith to fight with the world. Senior, have you seen my two companions, one male and one female?" Xiaoyan also asked, and the title changed from Your Excellency to Senior. "Of course your two companions saw it, but don't worry, they are still in a safe place. When you go back from here, you can see them. But it really surprised me. One of your two companions is an inheritor, and the other is someone who masters the powerful yin-yang gossip technique, but you are much more powerful than the two of them." Senior is wrong. Xiaoyan also responded politely. The strength of the silver figure Xiaoyue in front of him is also unfathomable. Xiaoyan has no choice but to admire so many things just from a simple inspection. You don't have to be humble. From the fact that you can come here, you can see that you are stronger than the two of them. Because to come here, there are only two entrances. One is the entrance of the Forbidden Enchantment, and the other is a very mysterious place. That place is called the Secret Realm. If I guessed correctly, you entered the Secret Realm and came here according to the instructions, am I right? Xiaoyue also asked. Xiaoyan smiled, but he was not surprised. Senior, you really know everything. I don't even know what to say. But I did enter that Secret Realm. As for the third floor of the corpse forest, I was also guided. But take the liberty to ask, Senior, do you know anything about this secret realm? Can you tell me something about that secret realm? Xiaoyue smiled lightly and said with a slightly mysterious smile, "There are two of the most mysterious places in the entire Yin Corpse Forest, just like here. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U, Kai 8.1 ZS, Koem, when I first came here, that mysterious spatial secret realm already existed. Although I have thought of a lot of ways to get in, it was not until a few years ago that I reluctantly entered by virtue of my own strength. There, in that secret realm, I found a strange red air mass, which I later learned was a dragon soul. I once thought about conquering it, but unfortunately for some reason, I still failed in the end. I can't think of where you entered by chance this time. But what's even more strange is that I can feel the breath of the dragon soul now, and it seems to be in the heavy ruler behind you. This is really surprising to me." There was a hint of surprise in Xiaoyan's eyes. He never thought that Xiaoyue could see how terrifying his strength was. Immediately, Xiaoyan also tightly wrapped the ancient ruler of eternal fire Heng behind him. "Don't worry, since this dragon soul has chosen you, then I won't be *** others. After all, fate is quite mysterious." Xiaoyue saw Xiaoyan's small movements. Xiaoyan said with some surprise, "The dragon soul in the secret realm is indeed in this heavy ruler, but it was only after a lot of effort that I sealed it in this heavy ruler. I didn't expect you to see it at a glance, Senior. I really admire it." Xiaoyue smiled and said, "Actually, it's nothing. When your cultivation level rises to another stage, you will naturally understand many things. Meeting you this time is also a kind of fate. Didn't you always want to ask me just now, how can you break open a space at will, from this space to another space? I'll teach you now, it's our fate. After all, I'll leave here soon after I've dealt with the matter in 10 days. If you don't pass on the space shuttle skills, you will also be lost. I'll pass it on to you. This is actually my unique stunt for more than 2,000 years. Even if other people are as strong as me, they can't cross the space at will." Xiaoyue finished speaking, her hands clasped slightly, and then she kept flying in the air. Change handprints. The next moment, a strange silver light appeared from Xiaoyu's finger, and then instantly enveloped Xiaoyan's head. Xiaoyan also stared at the silver space passage in front of him, his expression dignified. On the Do Qi continent, the strong Do Zong can walk on the void, the strong Do Zun can break through the space, and the strong Do Sheng can open up a small space. However, according to Xiaoyan's observation, the space channel constructed by Xiaoyue is more like a quite perfect space channel. Ordinary space passages are filled with dangerous fluctuations. After all, the interior of space passages is extremely unstable, and the variables inside are unpredictable, not to mention the safety of people who want to go to another place through space passages. It's just that the silver vortex space channel in front of Xiaoyue is quite different. There is no dangerous aura at all, and there is only an extremely gentle force maintaining this channel. And the most important thing is that what Xiaoyue uses is space shuttle. Not a space channel. These are completely two concepts. It takes a lot of time to reach the space link to channel www.novelmtl.com, but the space shuttle can be reached in an instant. Dozun can break open the space, but the broken space is broken open by Dozun with external force, so it is only a space passage. Although it can be entered by people, it can achieve 1,000 miles in an instant. The space channel is different. It is the use of internal battle chi in space to create a subtle connection, so that the space connected together is not an exaggeration. What a profound technique! Xiao Yan also secretly exclaimed. Despite the powerful soul in his body, he still couldn't see through the changes in the handprints that Xiao Yue had just displayed. Obviously, something was needed. Did you see it clearly? Xiao Yu Zaidu waved his hand, and the space channel in front of him disappeared instantly. No. Xiao Yan also shook his head and said, after all, Xiao Yu's technique was quite profound, and it was also the first time Xiao Yan had seen him, so he said it simply. Haha, then watch it carefully. Xiao Yue also said patiently, and after speaking, she began to rehearse. In the cave, Xiao Yu's handprints were constantly changing, and the space passages also appeared and disappeared again and again, while Xiao Yan watched intently, not letting go of any detail. Ask for tickets. In the past few days, the Starting Point Chinese website mobile app can grab red envelopes online at 8 to 10 p.m., and the grabbed Starting Point coins can be used to subscribe. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 223. Haha, it's not a waste of time for us to learn this in less than a day. Xiao Yue also smiled and was very satisfied with Xiao Yan in front of her. Thank you, senior. Xiao Yan also bowed deeply to Xiao Yue, because in less than a day, Xiao Yan learned the magic skill of traveling through this space. It was precisely because he learned the magic skill of traveling through space that Xiao Yan knew how powerful this Xiao Yue was in front of him. That's why he respectfully bowed to Xiao Yue. Since it's over, I think it's time for me to go too. But you have to remember that if you want treasure, you have to go to the well earlier. Although I told you something about the well, after all, there are a lot of little-known secrets in the well. Finished, it was also the silver light that flashed away and disappeared in an instant. Yeah. Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Yu, who was far away, and replied softly. Xiao Yan, do you know who he is? Seeing Xiao Yue leaving, Long Yi, the ruler above the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng, also said. He should be the overlord of the corpse forest you mentioned, the Yin-Yu Sirius. Xiao Yan also said in a hurry. You actually know. Now it was Long Yi's turn to be surprised. The reason why he didn't dare to show up just now was because Xiao Yan devoured his power of origin, causing Long Yi to be severely damaged at this time. Appearing in front of Yin-Yu Sirius is undoubtedly a self-destruction. I already knew, and Xiao Yue also knows that you are in my heavy ruler, but you just didn't make a move. Otherwise, do you think you can escape? Xiao Yan also laughed. Obviously, even now Long Yi has become in the end, he is still greedy for life and fear of death. You devoured my source power and hurt my vitality, but I'm too embarrassed to tell me. Do you know what it was like back then? Wait! The Dragon Soul was also talking non-stop, and then Xiao Yan ignored the Dragon Soul and carried the Yuo Heng ancient ruler behind his back, looking at a certain part of the cave. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Koem. The next moment, his eyes lit up, his hands clasped together, and then the handprints on the fingers kept changing, and a very strange silver light instantly flew out from Xiao Yan's hands, and then went towards a certain void in the cave. The darkness in the cave was illuminated by the silver light, and then the space wriggled strangely, and suddenly a meter of space appeared in the cave. Success! Xiao Yan also looked at the silver space shuttle in the sky and said excitedly. Let's go, it's time to go back. Xiao Yan finished his words, and then his body turned into a milky white flame, and he traveled through the passage towards the silver space. The milky white flame light just entered the silver space shuttle, and the silver space shuttle in the middle of the cave slowly disappeared, as if it did not appear. At this time, peace was restored in the mysterious cave. Xiao Yan, Yueru, there's no need for us to go towards the center point when we come to the third floor of the corpse forest, right? I heard that there are powerful creatures on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. The overlord of the entire infernal corpse forest, Yin-Yu Sirius, lives here. The strength of this Yin-Yu Sirius is extremely terrifying. There is death but not life. Mu Feng said to himself. Xiao Yan, did you listen to what I said? Mu Feng finished his words and found that no one responded to him, so he turned his forehead to the back and glanced at him. I didn't know this, but I was startled when I saw it. Xiao Yan? Yueru? Mu Feng found that the two of them were not found behind him, and he couldn't help but raise his voice a few decibels. This third floor is really weird. Mu Feng also found out that something was wrong, and then he was clinging to his body with a grudge, and looked around vigilantly. Although Xiao Yan and Yueru couldn't be seen, Mu Feng also vaguely felt that they were by his side, but they were blocked by these strange things. The third floor of the infernal corpse forest is really strange. Why is the ghost energy in it getting more and more serious? I hope I don't encounter the Silver Moon Sirius. Mu Feng murmured, and then his legs and pupils kept turning. At this moment, Mu Feng was surrounded by endless darkness, and the ghost energy was like some thin gas. Yin-yang gossip, throw the universe, break it for me. Suddenly Mu Feng saw a bright spot in front of his left, and he immediately exerted his vindictive energy to the extreme, and then attacked that spot of light. The huge blue-colored Do Chi gushed out from Mu Feng's body, and then with the sound of bang, 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 like glass breaking, Mu Feng also returned to the place where he had just dispersed. Look, isn't Mu Feng here? A man with a heavy ruler looked at Mu Feng and said, It's really dangerous. I didn't know what kind of inexplicable power it was just now. I felt like I had entered an enchantment, but then it was also a quilt. Mu Feng said a little proudly. Xiao Yan also laughed, and then he didn't say anything more. Yueru and Mu Feng did indeed enter a barrier, but they did not break the barrier by themselves, but Xiao Yan performed the space shuttle technique. The two of them were so easy to ask for the barrier, otherwise they would rely on two human strength. It is quite difficult to deal with that mysterious enchantment. After all, it was set up by Yin-Yu Sirius. How could it be broken so easily? The three of them chatted with each other for a while, and found that they were still unresolved, but one thing can be concluded is that the three of them accidentally entered the barrier by mistake, so the previous scene appeared. Since everyone is fine, let's take a rest first. Xiao Yan also said, and he could see that there were a lot of dangers lurking on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. Leaving the enchantment area outside the mysterious cave, the three of them also kept moving towards the depths. After a while, the three of them found a leeward place and sat down cross-legged. Xiao Yan also raised a fire in front of him, and the three rested beside the fire together. Xiao Yan, in fact, I have always had a question, that is, if we are avoiding the powerhouses in this point-grabbing competition to protect our link to points www.novelmtl.com there is no need to enter such a deep place. This corpse there seems to be some terrifying existence in the depths of the third floor of the forest, which is what worries me the most. Mu Feng also said in a humming tone. Actually, I don't know either, but there is always a voice guiding me, and that voice seems to be in the depths of the third floor of the corpse forest, so I am getting closer and closer. And one of the important things I participated in the selection competition this time was also on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. Xiao Yan also muttered. Xiao Yan didn't intend to hide them, but this matter involved too much, and Xiao Yan didn't want them to know. Oh, Mu Feng was also surprised. This infernal corpse forest is a place full of ghosts. How could there be such a strange voice as Xiao Yan said? As for the thing that exists in the depths of the third layer of the corpse forest, you don't have to think about it, you know that there must be a strong guardian guarding it. However, when he thought that he had been helped by Xiao Yan ever since he entered the infernal corpse forest, his heart also became turbulent. Mu Feng is not a ruthless bastard. Since this is the case, then I have no choice but to give up my life to accompany the gentleman. Mu Feng also said after a little thought, and the moment he spoke, he deliberately put on a determined expression, which made the two of them burst into laughter. Let's have a good rest today. If you hurry up tomorrow, you should be able to reach your destination. Xiao Yan also said with relief. The night was very quiet, the voices of the three people kept coming from the bonfire, and the laughter were endless. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter.